Egoic self-defense mechanism, right, Mike? I'm not even sure how to spell that. But it's like the echo chamber, right? That type of thing. I mean, you and I could sit around and we could pontificate, and eventually whatever alpha personality is going to be in that group ends up kind of pushing it to wherever it's going to be because we want to be accepted. I mean, that's kind of our in our human nature, right? So if I'm in a room with a bunch of people and 3 out of 4 people are speaking in a certain way, I mean, eventually I may end up agreeing with all of them or just going along with it because that's kind of in our DNA. I mean, the genetic is to coexist with other humans. But the interesting part is when we interrupt that and we change that, like you just said, is because these things are common, and they are. I mean, as a matter of fact, 1 in 5 adults in America suffer from a mental health illness or a diagnosable mental health illness. COVID, incidentally, has bumped that up to 1 in 3. Current studies done by NAMI. On the other side of that, the substance use disorder is about 1 in 7. And I don't think you can get any more common than that. I mean, that's more common than almost any other issue that's out there. But nobody's turning around and saying it, right? Nobody is saying, I'm an alcoholic, I have bipolar, etc. And we think that's a weakness, or we think we'll be stigmatized because, let's be honest, there's a stigma around it. I think in one of the things I recently wrote, I talked about the movie Joker, which I think was a great movie. But here's the thing, name one movie, if you're listening, that has a positive spin on mental illness.
Silver Linings Playbook.
That one was actually good. I mean, yeah, that was a good movie.
American Psycho.
Not that one. But for the most part, yeah, that was funny, man. Bret Easton Ellis is amazing. That's a rabbit hole there, man. I totally lost my train of thought, so that's funny. All right, so name one movie, right? Got it. Name one movie that has a positive portrayal of mental illness or substance use disorder, primarily mental health. I mean, the problem is nobody watches them. They don't read news stories because they're gentle in the middle of the road and they have a happy ending or something else, right? We don't watch that stuff because we like excitement. News stories and movies are about selling tickets. When we show a movie about some of these descents into madness and it gets all the Oscar buzz, and then we wonder why there's a stigma associated with mental illness and has all the violence associated with it, something else, right? We did it to ourselves, and I think we did it subconsciously. It's kind of like when you celebrate something with somebody, you have to take into account that means shame for somebody else. So if I'm celebrating my birthday, there's going to be shame for somebody that didn't have an opportunity to celebrate their birthday growing up or something like that, right? So when we rejoice about the fact that Joaquin Phoenix knocked it out of the park, you also have to take into account that we have now exacerbated the stigma of mental illness and being constantly characterized as violent, as sociopathic, as something with a disorder, right? When in reality, like I said, a third of us are walking around that are on pills or need to be on pills, frankly.